everyone, my name is Courtney Violetta, and since you guys have been loving my crystal content lately, I figured I would take you through my entire crystal collection. Now, if you're new to my channel and haven't seen my video where I explain why I no longer collect crystals, I'm gonna link that video up here so you guys can go and watch that. I give some really hard and honest advice in that video about this entire world, and I think that everybody really should go and listen to it. So if you've already seen that video and you're coming here, you already know that I have gone through a crystal purge of sorts. I have donated a lot of my crystals and I am left with a very small amount. Like, small in terms of I have a few dozen now, where I used to have a few hundred. Like, I had a lot of crystals. And the crystals that I have now are so much more meaningful to me because they, withstood that purge. They are my babies. I work with them all the time. I meditate with every single one of them. So this is essentially my entire crystal collection. I have loved rocks way before I knew what a crystal was or that they had any sort of metaphysical meaning. When I learned about crystals, I was just in awe that the earth can produce such beautiful pieces of art. So to me, not only do they have metaphysical benefits, but I just really appreciate the beauty that they hold. So this is my entire crystal collection now. As you can see, I prefer tumbled stones because I actually use them. Okay, so starting off, I have my selenite here. I've had this for a few years. It is quite beaten up, but I just like to keep this on my windowsill. It makes me feel like my room is just filled with so much positive energy. Selenite is one of those stones that like everybody should have. It's just really uplifting and positive. It's always a good idea to have a few selenite sticks around as they cleanse other stones. They purify your space. They're easy to meditate with, and you can also put them underneath your pillow so that you can have better dreams at night. I also have this other selenite that has 3 turquoise glued onto it with a blue string. This was gifted to me from a friend. She's just like the most loving soul in the world. So having this just to remind me of her and to like picture how beautiful of a person she is, like I just love this so much. Quartz is one of my favorite stones, and I have a few different ones. I have 2 tumbled stones that I like to hold when I meditate. I have these 2 clusters that I like to just keep in my room as some beautiful decor. For me, I personally like to work with tumbled stones, and I like to have pieces like this, like little clusters, and I don't necessarily work with them. I like to look at them and it makes me feel better. That's a big thing with crystals, in my opinion. I think that a lot of it is also, psychology and color psychology. Like when you look at a blue crystal, you're going to feel more calm. I personally believe you can use any crystal for any intention you want, but a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with that. With quartz, you can use it to put any intention into it at all. You can use it for anything. Protection, manifesting, psychic abilities, like anything you want. And one of my absolute favorites is this quartz with inclusions. I bought it in my Come Crystal Shopping With Me video, and I still absolutely love it. In that video, I talked about how I loved the fact that it had a hole in it. For whatever reason, I was like, my soul can go in the hole. And it just looks like it has its own world in there, and I just think it's so beautiful. Next, I have Labradorite. It actually has a number on it because I was going to sell it in my Etsy shop. I don't currently have my Etsy shop up right now, but I was going to sell this and I just was so drawn to it. I just bought it for myself. So I'm gonna take the sticker off. So this is mine now. Labradorite is said to be good for spiritual expansion and limitless potential. I'm personally in awe of the colors and the sheen that Labradorite produces. I think it's technically called labradorescence. I've read that the flashes of light can remind you that if you shift your perspective, you can finally see the light within the darkness. It has like a lot of meaning to me because when I first started to get into spirituality and going through my awakening, I guess you can say, I don't even like saying that because it just has such a stigma around it, but when I was going through that process when I was 18 or 19, Labradorite was one of the first stones that I ever had. This is a flower agate. I had bought a bunch of flower agate from my crystal shop and I just never ended up reopening it, so I did buy this from myself. And it is just so gorgeous. So I have a ton of these. Maybe I could do a giveaway one day. Maybe when we hit like 50,000, that would be really cool. When I look at crystals, I like to see the beauty in them. And that in itself makes me feel happy or uplifts me in some way, or that's what I think gives me that connection to them. It's like their beauty. And then I have some black tourmaline, amethyst, hematite, moonstone, and a few that I'm not 100% positive about, but I think I know. I also have some Botswana agate and some blue lace agate and a faceted garnet. I keep saying this, but this one is actually one of my favorites. I guess they all are after I had to narrow my collection down to just these, but look how beautiful the world is within this citrine. There are just flashes of rainbows and my eyes can follow all the different paths and roads within it. The same goes for this tiny tumbled citrine. It has a little bit of tourmaline in it. Sometimes when I'm really stressed, I just like to look at these and just follow the different patterns within it, and I just find it super calming. This one, for some reason, I keep in my car. It's also really sharp, so I kind of joke around that like if I needed to, Next up, I have blue calcite. Blue calcite is connected to the throat chakra and it's supposed to help you speak your truth. I love the texture of calcite. I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of milky in a way. Now onto my tumbled babies. All right, so again, we have my green moss agate, one of my first stones that I ever had. It's a little feisty guy. I also have this one. I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called. If you know what this is, please let me know. It's just gorgeous and looks so fancy, and it's a decor piece for me. The one that's my favorite in terms of meaning is this one, Isua. Isua comes from Greenland, and it comes from one of the oldest ancient plate tectonic sequences, and it's estimated to be around 3.8 billion years old. This little rock I'm holding is 3.8 billion years old. Isua takes one's consciousness back in time to a place no physical being is capable of, a period of early evolution with raw, pure energy existing on Earth's surface. Isua takes your soul to a place beyond its own existence in search of purity, prophetic knowledge, and strength. So it's one of the oldest stones out there because it's formed deep in the Earth's crust. So to me, there's nothing this stone hasn't seen before. It holds all the memories of Earth's formative years. So when I hold this, I truly feel like there is nothing that this stone has not seen in the history of the world. I have a few Amazonites. This one is from Madagascar, which is why it looks a little different. I have aventurine. All of these are great for the heart chakra. And speaking of the heart chakra, we have to talk about rose quartz. Like, what is a crystal collection without some rose quartz? I have 2 crystal hearts, one carnelian, which you guys saw me buy in my Come Crystal Shopping With Me video. And it does actually look like a heart to me. Like, it looks like it has veins and arteries, and it's just so interesting and fascinating. I love this one. I also have a celestite heart that actually has a lot of meaning to me, but I'll spare you the story and I won't go into that here. I have 2 tumbled fluorites. This one's like more purple. This one's more iridescent. Then we have Quantum Quattro. This one is really cool. It has shadokite, chrysocolla, dioptase, smoky quartz, and malachite. And it's said to help release emotional patterns and help bring you into balance. My favorite crystal that I own is very simple. It was a few dollars. I sell these also in my Etsy shop, or I did. This is fire and ice quartz. Fire and ice quartz is said to open your consciousness to higher dimensions so that you can receive divine guidance and wisdom. It's one of my absolute favorite stones. It looks like ice, and if you guys know me or have watched any of my Instagram stories, you know I am like obsessed with ice and snow and Nordic anything, and this one just makes me feel like I'm holding frozen ice. Ice is frozen. It makes me feel like I'm holding like a frozen crystal. So this one is my baby. I love it so much. So yeah, that was my minimal crystal collection. I feel so much better just having the ones that truly mean so much to me. and ones that I actually use. I don't want them going to waste. I go all into spiritual materialism in that other video that I definitely recommend you watch. I'll link it up here again for you guys if you want to watch that one to see why I really did get rid of all of these stones. The problem that I have with like the trendiness of crystals in general. We are almost at 40,000 subscribers, and that just means the world to me. You know, I've been working on this channel for so long, and it just means so much that you guys want to join me on this journey to self-discovery and spirituality, I guess, but I am not an expert. YouTube has plenty of those. I don't want to be your guide, but I will be your friend and your companion along your journey as well. Like, you don't have to go through this alone. Definitely subscribe, join the family here, and I'll see you guys very soon with another video. Bye!